Maybe you've already heard about this miracle, and maybe you didn't believe it. Sometimes I'm not so sure myself, even though I'm the one it happened to. So maybe I better tell it, just like it happened. I'd been back from service only a short time, and was starting out for myself, on my own place. I have a good-sized stand in the field on the side away from the house. Normally, I go around. But this day, I cut through the timber to take a shortcut home. I knew it would take some tricky handling, because on the other side, there's a gully, and the trees are close to the edge. But I figured I'd manage. Then, before I could maneuver along the edge of the gully... That's funny. Come on, let's get home. Well, that's a doggonedest thing. I know there's gas in it. That's all right. I knew I should have had that battery charged. Look here now.
Aren't you? Might as well give up. You're not going anywhere. Not this way.
Hey, what's going on around here? Hey, you. Where are you?
Here I am.
Where'd you come from?
I've been here.
I guess I've been out in the sun too long. I must be nuts.
No, but you're acting pretty foolish till I stopped you.
You stopped me? From what?
Expect I better show you so as you'll understand.
Hey, that's my tractor. Hey, what do you think you're doing?
Just what you were doing.
Why, I ought to...
Could have been worse. If I'd let you have your way, you'd have been down there under it.
Yeah. Come to think of it, guess that's so. But why'd you have to break up my outfit like that?
So's you'd understand. Besides, that's easy fixed.
Oh, sure. Nothing to it.
Nothing at all. Let's step back here out of the way. Ain't so easy to put people back together again.
Say, am I just imagining all this, or?
Maybe, but you're not likely to forget.
Look, what's this all about? Who are you, anyway?
Oh, I'm known by various names. But you can just call me Joe.
Joe? Joe what? There must be more to it than that.
All right. If you want the full title, I'm Special in the Meantime Agent.
What in the world is that?
Well, it isn't exactly in the world.
Now you're talking riddles.
Tisn't so easy to explain. But now let's take you, for example. Hardly 30? Healthy? You're not scheduled to leave this life until, Oh, a lot of years yet. But suppose I let you go ahead and eliminate yourself. There you'd be, 40 or 50 years ahead of schedule. So, somebody's got to keep track of you in the meantime. That's where I come in. Special in the Meantime Agent.
Yeah, I see.
Do you?
Of course I don't. You mean you go around stopping
Oh, dear me, no. I wished I could. But I'm so busy on my regular job.
Oh.
Have you any idea how many of you farm folks show up ahead of schedule? 16,000 last year alone, with anywhere from 10 years to most of a lifetime to hang around, waiting for their reservations to come due.
Say, that's bad.
The worst of it is, every year the surplus keeps gaining on us. Talk about a housing shortage. I don't know what we're going to do. I really don't.
Friend, you are busy. But look, how come then you can spare the time to help me?
Well, I figured I owed you something a little extra special. You did me a good turn once.
I did you a good turn?
Sure did. Remember when your ship was torpedoed in the Coral Sea, and some of the boys on your raft went kind of crazy after a few days, tried to drink seawater and jump over the side? But you made them stick it out till the destroyer showed up.
Oh, that?
Yes, sir. I call that a friendly turn. Made my job that much easier.
Well, actually, I didn't know...
Then, too, there's a girl, Doc Whipple's daughter. She'd have been pretty upset if you'd have been lugged in a lot of pieces.
You know about her?
I know about the two of you. I know a lot of things I don't say much about.
You and she ought to get together. Katie's all hip on making this the healthiest valley in the country. Between her and her father and Reverend Horner, we're going to have a modern hospital and a health program right here in our county.
I know. They're doing a fine job. And gradually, farmers are getting to understand that of all the things they grow, the most important is people. Yes, sir, it's a great work.
Yes, sir.
But that's only half the job.
What do you mean?
No hospital in the world can mend a man who's been lying down there, maybe for hours, smashed up under a heavy tractor, waiting for someone to happen along and drag him out.
No, I expect not.
And how about the young'uns? Little tots, or maybe barely high school age. Proper nutrition will give them sound bones, rich blood, and good teeth. But will it save them from the stupidity of the father who lets them ride along for company on a harrow, or who thinks it's smart for him to handle power equipment intended for full-grown men?
After all, nobody thinks it.
That's right. Nobody thinks. That's why they do such crazy things. Young fella, there's going to be a little meeting at Doc Whipple's tonight, a farm safety planning meeting.
I know.
You going?
Well, I figured I might get around after the meeting breaks up.
A fella like you could be quite a help.
Now, look. I can't get mixed up in all that. I'm just starting out with a farm to work. There aren't enough hours in the day as it is. I just haven't got the time.
Yeah, that's so. Never seems to be time till it's too late.
I figure they know what they're doing. I'm just... Hey, Joe. Have I been... Of course I'm awake. I think. It's okay, Joe. Joe?
I won't try that again.
Miss Whipple, I'd like to show your father and Reverend Horner a few charts which were recently made up by the Safety Council.
Well, while Mr. Hammond's getting ready, I'd like to emphasize one point. If our safety campaign is to do any real good, it's got to be planned and organized for action. Why, we've got to go after accidents just as we stamp out hoof and mouth disease, or corn borer, or a flu epidemic.
I'll say amen to that, Katie. We must cure accidents before they happen. Wipe out the sources, just as we'd fight any disease.
It's going to take help. A lot of help. People are kind of used to...
Oh, excuse me. I think I know who that is.
Imagine I could guess.
Fine young man.
Hello, John.
Hi, Katie. Oh, I thought you'd be through.
Well, you're just in time. Come on in.
No,
Here.
you go right ahead. I'll sit right here.
Oh, well,
I guess we're about ready, Katie.
All right. We won't be very long.
Okay.
Sorry. Please go ahead, Mr. Hammond.
Well, in line with what Miss Whipple has said, our first move was to get the facts on accidents in our own county over the past year. The results are astounding. Medical and hospital costs alone amounted to $11,400. Related costs, such as loss of time, crop loss, extra help, and so forth, amounted to $16,600, bringing the total up to over 28,000 accidents. Why, that's only part. Fire losses, which could have been prevented, amounted to nearly $170,000 for fire. Thus, it becomes apparent that from the pocketbook standpoint alone, carelessness is the public enemy #1 we've got to fight.
Tell him what happened to you. Go ahead, tell him.
Over the
Nobody but a
years,
fool would ever believe
money
that.
now being wasted.
Why, John, what do you mean?
Do I understand that you question the accuracy of these figures?
Oh, no, of course not. I certainly didn't. I was just... I mean, you'll just have to excuse me, I guess.
Well, that survey gives you some appreciation of the tremendous waste caused by sheer carelessness in this county in a single year. But there's a far more serious loss, one which is impossible to set down in cold figures. That's the cost in human values. Who can put a price tag on the lives that were snuffed out, or the total disability of others of our citizens? How can anyone estimate the price of blindness, or the loss of an arm or a leg or a hand? Who dares to set a figure on the loss to a child who's condemned to go through life a cripple? We have all the statistics, but we make no effort to total the cost in terms of human misery. If this was the result of smallpox or tuberculosis or infantile paralysis, the whole county would be roused to action. If it was a plague that threatened our cattle and our crops, we'd get action. But carelessness is harder to fight. It's a more dangerous enemy because we've learned to accept it as tough luck and do nothing about it. We've got to organize and fight.
This is
Just
your
talking
fight,
about
too.
it isn't
Go
going to
on.
solve
You
this
talk
tragic
to him.
problem.
Why don't you shut up? Go away.
Benefits for the helpless.
Uh-oh.
Katie, I'm sorry. You don't understand.
I certainly don't understand. Let me smell your breath.
I can explain it. No. I guess I can't either.
There isn't any explanation. I suppose you think you were being funny. I'm sorry we kept you so long, but I assure you that it won't happen again.
But, Katie...
Oh, dear me, that was too bad. I was just trying to help.
Oh, sure. You helped. You fixed everything just fine. Why don't you go away?
All right, but maybe...
No, maybe. Just go away. Well, seemed as if I'd got rid of him. Everything was going along fine, except for Katie. I kept working hard, trying not to think about her. Then one day, when I was going to fix a leak in the roof,
Now, wait a minute before you get mad. Take a look at that ladder. A good look. See that loose rung? See the side rail, how it's busted? Think that'd hold you?
gosh, I never noticed that.
Oh, you'd have discovered it all right. About the time you're up the top and it let go under you.
I guess I better fix it.
Tarnation Dawn. You should have fixed it before. Falling off of things and into things is the biggest source of farm accidents there is. Remember that.
I sure am much obliged to you. Maybe I... Then, a little later, I was going to put away some tools, and I just started into the barn. Hey, what's the idea? I was just going to put those tools away.
Yeah, with that pipe going full blast. Listen here, young fella. That barn is full of hay, dry as tinder. Do you think a barn fire is funny?
No. Tripping me in my face isn't funny either.
As hard-headed as you are, that wouldn't hurt you any.
Is that so? Well, let me tell you something. Well, I didn't see any more of the little guy for a long time. Thought he'd gone for good. Then one day I was fixing to oil up the hay baler. I had it running. Easier to do a thorough job when it's running.
I guess I better wait a bit till you cool down.
You bet you better. I'm tired of you butting in.
You could get pretty tired of going around with one hand.
I don't need anybody trailing me around, kicking up a fuss every time I do some little thing.
Now you've got me riled up. Little thing? Indeed. You stubborn nitwit. I guess I'll have to show you the real meaning of some of those little things. I'm going to make you just like me, so nobody will see you or hear you. Then we're going to step ahead a year in time.
You mean see what's going to happen next year?
That's right, and maybe open your eyes to see as you ought to see. Let's go.
Hey, what's happening to me? Why, this is crazy.
Mighty convenient, though.
Here we go.
Sure hate to get buried a day like this.
Do you know any good days to get buried? Look.
I am the resurrection and the life, saith the Lord. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And
Why, those are the Tuckers.
and believeth in me shall never...
But where's Eddie? I don't see Eddie.
He's there.
That he shall stand at the last
Eddie
day
Tucker?
of the earth.
You mean...
And though this
Oh,
body
no.
destroy, yet shall I see God, whom I shall see for myself, and mine eyes shall behold, and not as a stranger. We brought
What
nothing
happened?
into this world.
What
and
happened
it
to
is
Eddie?
certain we can carry nothing out.
Gee,
Gave,
I didn't know.
Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the
I'm
Lord.
sorry.
Almighty God, with whom do live the spirits of those who depart
Is
hence,
this real? When did it...
and with whom the
I mean, when does that happen?
Just about this time next year.
Oh, but this is crazy. Eddie's always been the luckiest little guy in the world. He went through everything in the South Pacific.
And now a little rusty nail gets him. Such a little thing. Too small to pay any attention to.
Can't we do something?
Not now.
through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Too bad, but that's just one.
You mean there are others that I know?
I think so. You know Al Summers?
Well, sure. He's a good friend of mine.
Turning into the highway without stopping is supposed to cost a $5 fine. Al paid with his life. Alice Preston, beloved wife and mother.
Oh, no. Well, I was just over to dinner last Sunday.
Ah, but you got to remember that Sunday was almost a year ago. Since then, Mrs. Preston made a little mistake. She thought the stove had gone out. She was in a hurry, so she gave it a shot of kerosene. Her husband was coming home for his dinner. He saw the flames, tore right into that blazing kitchen. But too late. Luckily, the children were out in the yard at the time. Seems like such an awful price to pay for a little thing.
That's terrible. Poor Alice.
Yes, but sort of tough on those who are left behind, too, sometimes.
What about the kids and Fred?
Oh, you know how it is. Fred had been meaning to get proper insurance on the house, but he didn't. After expenses, there wasn't enough money to rebuild. So he fixed himself a place in the corner of the barn.
But the kids. What about the kids?
Well, you'll see. Look over there. Naturally, their father couldn't look after him and work his farm, too. They couldn't very well be left alone at home, even if there'd have been a home. The neighbors did all they could, chipped in and bought the young'uns a whole new outfit of clothes for their trip.
Their trip?
Now, we'll just make believe we're going visiting. You show these folks you had good bringing up.
Yes, Daddy.
And, Ginny, you'll sort of look after Betty, won't you? She's kind of little.
Yes, Daddy. I know.
Well, I guess we better go. I'll come see you real often. As often as I can.
Can we go back?
We haven't seen very much. There are so many others, children, who'll be trying to play ball on a crutch and learning to read through their fingertips. What about other mothers who'll be scarred and maimed or crippled just because of other little things? How about...
Stop it! Stop it! That's enough.
All right, we'll go back. Well?
I'm trying to think. Are you sure all that's going to happen during the coming year? And you're just going to sit by knowing it's coming and not do something about it?
What are you going to do about it?
What can I do?
Well, there's supposed to be a safety rally Saturday night, but it don't look like it'll come to much.
Why not?
Oh, everybody's too much like you. Figure they already know all there is to know about safety. Figure just because they got by so far, they always will.
But that's stupid.
Don't tell me, tell them.
You think I won't?
I think maybe you will.
I figured I'd do something. But what? I didn't know myself. So I just started talking to people. Mostly, they were the people with the biggest interest in making this safety rally a success. And they didn't need much urging. In no time at all, ideas were hatched up and plans were made to bust our town wide open. Me, I didn't do any more than just start the ball to rolling. And once it got going, it was just like a snowball rolling downhill. Everybody had a job to do, and everybody pitched in. We knew we'd surprise a lot of folks, but we knew, too, that everybody in the valley was going to get waked up. Yes, sirree. Within the next couple of days, everybody knew about that safety rally. And Saturday night, just about everybody was on hand for the meeting.
Isn't it wonderful everybody turned out?
Yep. Took a little prodding, but they came. Looking for somebody in particular? Just wondering.
Congratulations.
I guess this is what you could call a success.
So far.
What do you mean, so far? They're here, aren't they?
Just coming isn't enough. They've got to do something.
I'll give them a chance.
Before I turn this meeting over to Katie, I just want to say that thanks to every one of you, we are now assured of a modern, scientifically equipped hospital of our own, right here in the county. Judging from the applause, guess my speech is over. So now we'll take up another matter that touches the health and well-being of every one of us. Katie?
Friends, I scarcely need to tell you that in the fulfillment of our health program, we're stepping out into real leadership. We can well be proud. But that's only half our battle. The best time to cure sickness and injuries is before they occur. Stamp out accidents, unnecessary accidents, accidents due to simple carelessness, and we will have accomplished an objective just as important as our health program. Now, I don't have to tell you that accidents happen.
Somebody's been a-telling me. Every place I go around my place, I find one of them doggone skulls a-grinning at me.
Me too. It's getting my cow so bad, I'm going to dry up.
Please.
Quiet.
Tonight we are here to discuss the formation of a farm and home safety organization. This is war. And we must organize just as efficiently as we would for a military operation.
Last time I was mixed up in a military operation, it wasn't exactly what you call safe.
the matter with them?
Well, they came here looking for fireworks, and they won't be happy until they get them.
We have the report of the fact-finding committee, which will give you a better understanding of the terrible toll of accidents. In dollars and cents, it's more than any family can afford.
Well, with our new hospital, pretty nurses and all, I kind of figured it might be fun to get hurt.
They've got to get the idea in their hearts before you can get anything through their heads.
I suppose you had some humorous remarks, too. Aren't you satisfied?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute! Seems like there's been a little mistake. We have some guests of honor who haven't been introduced. You know them all. They're neighbors of yours. Maybe close personal friends. Or even members of families of some of you. But they couldn't get to the meeting tonight. Because they're dead. You probably went to the funerals of 3 of them, all within the past year. The others, well, maybe we should call them the living dead. One's blind. The other's sentenced for life to bed and a world of 4 walls. Sorry, Mrs. Manners. I guess you know what Bill would say to these folks tonight if he'd be here. And what terrible crime do these friends of ours commit that they should be given the death penalty at a time when the best of life was still ahead of them? Well, he trusted a gentle bull. She forgot the cans of preserves on the cellar steps. He didn't bother to stop to unhitch his harrow. The others are about the same. Just carelessness. 5 of our friends and neighbors last year. Listen. Listen hard. Can you hear what they're trying to say to you? Some of you can hear them all right. You're sitting out there with a hand hidden. A hand that isn't as good looking as when it had all its fingers. And a lot more of you. You got away with your lives, but you got scars to remember. You can hear what they're saying. Well, let's look ahead. Which 5 of you here tonight have tickets for these chairs sometime next year? Eddie Tucker? How about you? Lucky Eddie Tucker. Sure, you were lucky all over the South Pacific. But a little rusty nail could do to you what all the Jap bombs and shells and kamikazes could never do. Alice Preston. How about you? That's too nice a family to be taking chances playing with kerosene around a stove. Al Summers. How about you? Driving into the highway without stopping can be a lot more expensive than just a $5 fine. And how many more of you will have to hide your hands, or limp, or wear braces next year? Oh, but of course, it won't be any of you. It's always some other guy. That's what you think. But you're as wrong as... Well, you're wrong. Make up your minds to this. 5 people here tonight have tickets for these chairs sometime next year. And a lot more of you are due to be crippled. There's only one way out. Katie Whipple is going to show it to you. And I think you better pay a lot of attention.
Wait a minute, son. You got 'em right here where it counts.
Guess I got wound up.
Sure. And you've got them wound up. Now they've got their hearts in it. They'll be putting their heads in it. I'll bet Katie will be going to work now. They'll be organizing for action. They'll have the county agent and the home demonstration agent and the safety council and the Red Cross and the 4-H clubs and the future farmers. Everybody fighting accidents just like they'd fight locusts or a flood. There's nothing a family or a community can't do once they get the determination and organization to do it. You've got the ball rolling now. Nothing can stop them.
Gee, I hope not.
Were you thinking of sticking around a while?
I don't. Maybe.
Figured you might. Say, I owe you a lot, so maybe...
Wait a minute. I don't need...
John! Oh, John!
Well, I thought I might find you.
What about your meeting?
Oh, Mr. Hammond, our safety engineer is in charge now, and, well, I wanted to explain.
I got some explaining to do myself. Well, you'd never believe it. Never in 1,000 years. Guess we better just skip that part of it.
But I couldn't let you get away without telling you how splendid you were. Why, it all seems like a miracle.
Don't say that. Don't ever use the word miracle.
Why?
See? I told you. See what can happen? Thanks, Joe.